When thinking of players who lost their career due to injury, we think of superstars such as Derrick Rose, Grant Hill, and Penny Hardaway, all explosive players with limitless potential. But one player that I believe gets overlooked in this conversation is Jabari Parker, who at just 25 years old has bounced between the Chicago Bulls, Washington Wizards, Atlanta Hawks, and now the Sacramento Kings in just 3 seasons. At just 21 years old, he was the second leading scorer of the Milwaukee Bucks, but now he's struggling to get a contract in the league. But before we answer the question, what happened to Jabari, I'd like to establish just how good and hyped up scouts and players alike believed Jabari would be in his NBA career. Beginning in his freshman year in high school, Parker burst onto the scene, averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, while helping lead Simeon Career Academy High School to a 25-9 record. By the end of the season, he was named the ESPN 2010 Freshman of the Year and received offers from schools such as Illinois, Kansas, and Florida, and he also garnered significant interest from big-time schools Kentucky, Duke, and North Carolina. The following year, he was named the 2011 ESPN Sophomore of the Year and named to the Illinois All-State team. Entering his junior year, Jabari proceeded to win tournament MVP honors at the 2011 LeBron James Skills Academy and averaged an extremely impressive 19.5 points, 8.9 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 1.4 steals, and 3.3 blocks. In fact, he was so impressive that he was put on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and it was titled the best high school player since LeBron James is Jabari Parker. He also won the state championship for the 3rd straight year, was named Illinois Gatorade Player of the Year, Illinois Mr. Basketball, and again ESPN's Junior of the Year. Finally, in his senior year of high school, although he did suffer through injury, he won his 4th straight state championship. He helped Simeon Academy to a 30-3 overall record, was also named a McDonald's All-American, and decided to further his basketball career at Duke University, ranked as the 2nd best player on ESPN's Top 100 Prospects. As one of the most hyped up high school prospects in years, along with future number 1 pick Andrew Wiggins, great expectations were set on the shoulders of Jabari Parker, and it's safe to say he delivered. In his lone season in Duke, Parker averaged 19.1 points, a Duke freshman record, 8.7 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 1.1 steals, and 1.2 blocks per game. Duke finished the year with a 26-9 overall record, good enough for the 8th seed in the NCAA March Madness tournament. Unfortunately for Duke, however, they fell to the number 14 seeded Merced. Parker won the ACC Freshman of the Year award and was named to the All-ACC freshman team. Following his lone season at Duke, Parker declared for the NBA draft, and there was major talks of whether him or Andrew Wiggins would be selected with the number 1 overall pick. And honestly, when looking at Parker's game and resume, it's clear to see why teams and scouts were so high on him. Coming in at 6'8", 240 pounds, Parker's combination of size and athleticism were extremely unique. He was strong enough to bang with bigger power forwards, while being able to bully smaller opponents on the block. However, what really set him apart was his ball handling skills and scoring ability. Even with his taller frame, Parker really had a good handle for his size, which allowed him to face up opponents and blow by them for a strong finish at the rim, or settle for his extremely efficient mid-range game, or a tough fadeaway bucket. He also showed the ability that off turnovers or rebounds, he was able to take the ball coast to coast, serving as a one-man wrecking crew. His scoring ability was something to behold, as he could score from anywhere on the court, whether it be at the rim, mid-range from 3, off the dribble, spot up in the post, name anywhere on the court, and Parker could score from there. He was so dominant in fact that he drew comparisons to all-time great scorers such as Carmelo Anthony and Paul Pierce, and was voted amongst his peers to be the most likely to win Rookie of the Year and most likely to have the most successful NBA career. Now that we've established just how good and hyped up Parker was entering the league, let's take a look at how his actual career went down and why it's at the point it is at today. After being selected 2nd overall in the 2014 NBA draft by the Milwaukee Bucks, Parker was expected to make an impact for the young Bucks team right away, and he seemed to be trending in the right direction, putting up 2 double-doubles and multiple 15-point-plus games on high efficiency. However, unfortunately for Parker and the Bucks, he suffered a season-ending ACL tear in just his 25th career NBA game. This injury stretched into the beginning of the 2015-16 season, however, once he did suit up again, he was extremely extremely solid for the Bucks. He averaged 14.1 points, which was 4th on the team, 5.2 rebounds, and 1.7 assists. He had some extremely impressive performances throughout the year, with the highlights being his 28-point and 13-rebound performance against the Atlanta Hawks, and a career-high 36-point effort against the Houston Rockets. At just 20 years old, Parker was beginning to flash his upside as a dynamic scorer from all areas of the court, and was developing into a pretty solid wing rebounder as well. The 2016-17 season was statistically and objectively the best season of Parker's career. Coming off a very impressive sophomore season, Parker built upon this momentum and established himself as one of the league's most dangerous scorers, especially with a new and improved three-point shot into his arsenal. Parker averaged an impressive 20.1 points, 6.2 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1 steal and 0.4 blocks, while shooting 49% from the field and 36.5% from 3. He put up a season-high 33 points to go along with 9 rebounds against the New Orleans Pelicans on November 10, 2016, and showed flashes of his all-around game, picking up near triple-doubles against the Detroit Pistons, Washington Wizards, and Houston Rockets. However, on February 9th, everything came crashing down when Parker was diagnosed with yet another ACL tear in the same left knee, the second time in his short 3-year career. The rehabilitation period took about a year, and Parker was able to return in the 2017-18 season in a limited role, and it was clear that unfortunately, he was not the same player that he once was. He had lost some of that explosive first step he was known for, and his defense, which wasn't the best to begin with, took a hit as well. This was also the year where Jabari played in his one and only playoff series, where he averaged just 10 points and 6 rebounds off the bench, far below from what we saw the year before. Because of his previous 2 ACL tears, the Bucks were extremely reluctant to extend his rookie contract and offered him just a qualifying offer. However, once the Chicago Bulls and Parker agreed to a 2-year $40 million deal, with the second year being a team option, the Bucks rescinded their offer and let him walk. Parker had played in just 183 out of 328 possible games in his 4 years with the Bucks. Chicago seemed to be a fresh start for Parker, back in Illinois for the first time since high school, and was surrounded by young talent such as Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, and Wendell Carter Jr. Things seemed to be looking up for Parker, who initially came off the bench as an energy guy for the Bulls, but eventually made his way into the starting lineup, where he had multiple 20-point games. The problem was that the Bulls were one of the worst defensive teams in the league, 25th in defensive rating, and the second worst offensive team in the league as well, 29th in offensive rating. This resulted in head coach Fred Hoiberg being fired midway through the season and being replaced by Jim Boylen, a more defensive head coach. And because of this, 5 games into his coaching career with the Chicago Bulls, Boylen chose to bench Parker for his defensive efforts and eventually removed him from the Bulls rotation altogether. Eventually, Parker was traded to the Washington Wizards at the trade deadline, where he averaged 15 points and 7 rebounds for them off the bench. In the offseason, Parker signed with the Atlanta Hawks, where he served as the team's starting power forward after John Collins was suspended for violating the NBA's anti-drug policy. Parker continued to show his scoring prowess and also showed improvement on the defensive end as well, averaging 16.2 points, 7 rebounds, and a career-high 1.7 steals as a starter for the Hawks. However, much like earlier seasons while he was on a roll, he suffered a right shoulder injury which caused him to miss 19 games. He was then traded to the Sacramento Kings, marking the 4th team he's played for in just 2 seasons. Looking at Parker's career, it's extremely unfortunate to see where he is now, especially because of how everything happened, with multiple instances of injury derailing a promising season. And now, at just 25 years old, it's more than likely that Parker will never reach his full potential, but hopefully he'll be able to stay in the league as a spark plug coming off the bench because of his instant offense. But with all that being said, let me know in the comments below what you think is going to happen to Jabari's career from this point on. Thank you very much for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when I upload next. Thank you very much for watching again, and as always, have a good day or night, and social distance wherever you are.